Pokemon Legends Arceus. Wait, I'm sorry. We're talking about the Legend of Acrius from Destiny 2. It's an exotic heavy shotgun. Yes, it is a heavy shotgun, much like Tractor Cannon, which debuffs enemies and gives you a speed buff, or how Whisper of the Worm is a heavy sniper that has more ammo and an extremely high damage ceiling. Acrius has none of that. It has massive pellet spread, more pellets than the average shotgun, and it overpenetrates enemies so that you can kill a lot of low-tier enemies that are running at you. But it just doesn't have enough damage to really use against bosses. It's pretty okay at champion clear, but it's just not worth, one, my heavy slot, and two, my exotic slot. Definitely not at the same time. So, how do you buff Acrius? Because the pellet spread on it is as bad as it is. Now, the damage fall off isn't that bad compared to other shotguns, but the spread just feels ridiculous sometimes. So one way to think about it when you're fighting a boss is it's a pump action sword. It's a lot slower than every other sword, and you suffered speed nerfs, and it doesn't have a lot of the buffs swords have for close range combat. So I think we're going to lean into that. Give it stomp resist. That way you don't get thrown into walls or thrown away from enemies and unable to damage them when you're using Acrius. So that's one way. And also, Legend of Acrius, if you don't know why it's called that, the Legend of Acrius is a Cabal story that parallels the legend of Icarus in Greek mythology. Icarus flew too close to the sun with wax wings and fell to his own hubris. Well, Acrius did not fall. He collected the sun. He got the sun and becomes the first emperor of the Cabal. He succeeds. He does not fall to his hubris. Cabal have no word for hubris. So I think making you have stomp resistance is a good idea for it. That way you can, approach the danger without as much risk. And also, on top of that, I think the more damage you take, the faster you should fire, reload, and maybe get a small damage buff. That way, if you're standing in a well, you can get even more damage for using a sword that isn't as fast as a sword and doesn't have all the buffs a sword has for close range combat. Basically, I'm turning Legend of Acrius into a sword, if you haven't caught on to that. Anyways, that's my idea for Acrius. When you take damage, you fire faster, deal more damage, and reload faster. Plus, you get stomp resistance. I think this is a good way to change it up and buff it without just making the damage number higher base, which it still probably needs. So anyways, that's this video. I hope you liked it. Maybe comment, subscribe, that whole thing. Share it even. I don't know. Anyways, see you next time. I'm really hoping for a Legend of Acrius buff.